How's it going, everyone? This is the Anime Man, and welcome back to another brand spanking new episode of the show that features some of the weirdest, strangest, most mind-boggling and unbelievable things that come straight from the heart of this wonderful, wacky world of ramen and anime titties land. Bless Japan. Now, I know it's been a while since the last episode of What the Fuck Japan, and I apologize for that, my boys. You know, when your last episode gets demonetized and age restricted, you get a little bit scared to upload anything new into the series. But fuck the system, I love this show, you guys love it too, and I get so much support for airing time. I get so many requests for more episodes of What the Fuck Japan, so I am back with another episode talking about, this particular thing. Now, unlike the last couple of episodes of What the Fuck Japan that involve things specifically to do in IRL Japan, like the festival or even the weird vending machines that I visited and spent all my money at, the thing I'll be covering in this episode of What the Fuck Japan is going to come back to the roots, come back to the anime world. And by anime, I mean visual novels. And by visual novels, I mean one specific subgenre of visual novels that YouTube Summer really discourages people on the YouTubes to talk about or even bring any sort of attention towards. Erogaze. Erogaze, for those of you who don't speak Weebanese, is the Japanese word for erotic games, or more colloquially known in the West as hentai visual novels. Now, if you're one of those connoisseurs who've snooped around the internet for long enough and especially stuck your grubby little nose into the wacky and wonderful world of hentai, then you'll know just how limitless and all-encompassing the world of erogaze actually are. There are really no shortages of kinks and fetishes that have been covered in the erogaze world, and let's just say that if someone is into something out there in the world, there is most likely an erogaze for them. I'm not afraid to admit, here on camera, as I have many times, that I have been a long-time connoisseur of the erogaze world, and unfortunately with the nature of my job, which you are currently watching right now, I haven't been as in tune with the erogaze world, especially in the last couple of years, but I do also try to stay as focused and as on top of the game as I can when it comes to new erogaze that have come out. Some erogaze that have become infamous, some that have become famous, some that are just plain fucking weird. And in doing so, I have found an erogaze that is it's a doozy, and is one that I will be talking about in today's video. And the title of this erogaze is called it's called, brace yourselves, My Little Sister Can't Possibly Have a Hemorrhoid. I am sad that I lack the talent to make this shit up. I mean, first of all, can we all just stop and admire how amazing that title is? Because it's clearly a huge fuck you to the famous light novel turned anime series My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute, or Oreimo. And the fact that it's straight up using the subject matter of hemorrhoids to make fun of said anime just perfectly describes how my experiences were when watching said anime. Oreimo was so painful to watch, in my opinion, that it might have possibly given me hemorrhoids. Luckily, I only managed to escape with a plain hemorrhage, but you get the point. So upon hearing this amazing title of an erogaze, I really wanted to give it a go, because who can resist? And thankfully, the lovely folks over at Faku hooked me up with this game. They sent it over to me and they said, "You're curious? Here you go. You can play it." So, first of all, big shout out to the boys over at Faku. You're awesome. Links to their website in the description below. And so with the game fully downloaded, I strapped myself in for an erogaze of a lifetime, and listen, I've played all sorts of erogaze and kusogaze in my lifetime, but My Little Sister Can't Possibly Have a Hemorrhoid is easily tops my list for the most hilarious and disgusting erogaze that I've ever played. So the game starts off with this really standard run-of-the-mill setup of the protagonist, which you play as, describing his blood-related little sister and how fucking amazing and awesome she actually is. And I shit you not, this motherfucker explains every single small minute detail about his little sister for like a solid 10 to 15 minutes. Like, if this entire erogaze was a book, the first chapter would just be this painstakingly detailed description of how amazing and sexy and cute this little sister is and how much the protagonist just wants to get into a tiny little pantsuit. Like, this shit was going on for so long, I actually legit said out loud, can we hurry up and just get to the hemorrhoids? I said that out loud. A sentence nobody would have ever imagined to escape out of somebody's lips in that particular order I said that shit alone in my room playing this game. Because don't get me wrong, this whole concept of a big brother having a huge boner for his blood-related little sister is not a new thing. I mean, that exact concept is what made Oraimo famous to begin with. But unlike Oraimo over here, this game, or a Hemo, I'm just gonna call it that from now on, has this looming atmosphere of hemorrhoids in the background at all times. Sounds gross because it is gross. So after the infinitely long monologue of the protagonist describing her little sister, we actually get to see his little sister, and you know what? I was pleasantly surprised. She's actually this like really cute anime girl, like standard looking, but hey, I can see why the protagonist has a massive boner for her. But alas, the soft and bubbly feeling for this cute anime girl vanishes faster than a Thanos snap after she admits openly to her bigger brother, aka you playing this game, that she has mad hemorrhoids. And the little shit goes into this painstakingly excruciating detail as to how she came up with the conclusion that she might possibly have a bleeding anus. Look, I already knew from the beginning, even before I started writing up this video, that there's no way this shit's gonna be monetized, so let me allow you to do a dramatic reading of an excerpt of the little sister's monologue as to the process of how she came to the conclusion that she might possibly have a bleeding My butt hurts. It's been like this for about 2 weeks. I first noticed when because it hurt. It only stung a little bit at first, but it started to get worse. It's really painful now. I thought I might have a hemorrhoid, so I looked at it in the mirror, but I didn't see any lumps or anything. It's starting to hurt all the time now, though. So when I have to, it's like I'm picking at... It's like I'm picking at a wound. And plus, when I wiped my butt this morning, there was blood on the toilet paper. It wasn't period blood either. It was from my butt. I'm starting to get worried that I might be sick. Fucking ew. She could have just said, I might have hemorrhoids, I need to go to the doctor. But of course not! You just had to explain everything to me in the most subtle of details because clearly I am a 4-year-old playing this game who doesn't know what the fuck hemorrhoids are. So then the protagonist suggests to the little sister to go to the doctors to get it checked out if it is hemorrhoids, because holy shit, that's the most sane thing that this fucker has said in this game so far. But then this little sister just straight up denies that idea, saying that I would rather die than get a male doctor to look at my butthole. Ever heard of a female doctor? Also, how are you okay with telling your brother, who secretly faps to you every single day and has just finished a 10 to 15 minute monologue of how much he wants to get into your pants, even though you're blood related to each other, and yet you can't go to a professionally trained practitioner of medicine to look at this serious problem in the most professional eyes? Listen, these fuckers don't go through 9 years of medical college to get sexually repressed by an anime girl with a bleeding okay? So after some more bullshit dialogue that really doesn't add any substance to the game whatsoever, the brother opts to go to the drugstore to get some medicine for her. And in doing so, we as an audience get to experience what I believe to be the best example of Japanese to English translation that I have ever seen in any video game. So the brother comes back from the drugstore with some Preparation H, which, for those of you who don't know, is a very common and well-known brand of hemorrhoid medicine. But instead of just calling it Preparation H in the game, maybe because, it's a whole brand name and they don't have the licensing to use that brand name, the geniuses over at Faku decided to translate said medicine into Preparation Ecchi. This is why I love Faku. Honestly, that one translation has just made up for the entirety of this game. GG Faku, GG. But unfortunately, what was to come next has, once again, Thanos snapped my happiness away. So after the brother comes back with some Preparation H, or I'm sorry, Preparation Ecchi, the sister goes to take care of her business, but instead comes back immediately afterwards to tell us that she can't do it by herself and she needs her brother to do it for her. Because eroge logic. And the next 30 minutes of gameplay, if you can even call it gameplay, is this situation of the brother struggling to stick some preparation ecchi into her little sister's butthole, all whilst you hear this really creepy monologue of the protagonist thinking how cute and sexy it is, the fact that her adorable blood-related little sister is showing her bare-naked butt towards him. Like, I think the one who needs a doctor is the protagonist, not the little sister. And after he finally does stick it in with the most disturbing sound effect that I've ever heard in an eroge, he goes back to his room and starts to jack it to the image of her little sister's bare naked, hemorrhoid-filled butthole. I'm sorry, but is this game trying to turn me on? Because let me tell you, I don't think I've ever been more soft while playing an eroge as I was playing Orihemo. Because shockingly, the whole pretense of hemorrhoids doesn't really appetize me in the slightest. How am I supposed to concentrate on this cute and adorable little anime girl when the only thing that I can think of is you trying to shove some preparation H into a bleeding butthole? Like, who asked for this? Listen, I ain't here to kink shame or even make fun of people who actually have hemorrhoids. Like, fuck, if you do actually have hemorrhoids or you were a past victim of hemorrhoids, I feel so fucking bad for you. And if you do currently have it and are struggling with it, I pray to Animu Jeebus that you go to a doctor and you get it professionally fixed, and for you to just be rid of this horrible and inconvenient thing, because it must be horrible. I can never imagine. My 100% whole condolences to you. But this game, it's just fucking nasty, dog. Like, this is legitimately the first time I've played an eroge made in Japan where I was soft as a pillow the entire time. And the worst part of all of this is that the relationship between the hemorrhoid sister and the fucked up brothers just escalating every day within the game. I'm obviously not going to say how it escalates because, A, spoilers, and more importantly, I don't think you even want to hear me talking about it or going into excruciating details about it, but I'm sure you can imagine what happens if you've played enough eroges. If you don't know, let me give you a little hint. Let's just say that the protagonist PP forgets that his little sister has hemorrhoids. Oh, that's fucking gross. So yeah, let me just say that after all of that, that's 1 chapter out of 4. Yeah, there are 3 more side stories to this fucked up game. But honestly, the rest of the side stories are really not that much more interesting. Like, one of the side stories is about how you convince, like, your sister's best friend to also get in bed with you and your hemorrhoid-filled sister somehow. I played through it and I still didn't see the logic behind how she managed to get in there or agree to this shit. And then the other side stories are just about you and your sister just, you know, getting kinkier and kinkier with the day, because apparently being blood-related doesn't matter in this world. Honestly, I just can't believe this game exists. Like obviously, of course, this game exists because it's an eroge and it's a kink. And if there's a kink for it, there's an eroge for it, but I just can't believe that this game existing is okay in the slightest. Especially coming from Japan as well. I mean, like, hemorrhoids might not seem like a disease or a thing that is common to a lot of people watching this video, but in Japan, it's actually a really common and serious issue. So much so to the point that if you watch Japanese TV, occasionally there will even be advertisements promoting stuff like Preparation H and like call centers and doctors for people who are victim to hemorrhoids. But like, who in Japan saw those ads and was like, you know what would be fucking awesome? An eroge about that. Yeah, that'd be hot as fuck. I just can't imagine how that business meeting would have gone. I'm guessing someone at the dev team was like, nah, 聞いたが社長が辞になったらしいぜ。マジっすか。災難っすね。しかも嫁さんの方がさ、夜の営みっていうのに対してちょっと冷たい対応なんだよな。いやー、マジ濃くすぎますね。いやー、ほんと残念だよ。なんか、社長元気にできるもんがないかね。そうっすね。なんか、いい案が浮かびましたよ、先輩。ああ。俺もひらめいたぞ。Like, no! Bad fucking idea, Japan. Bad Japan. No. Bad. Slap on the hand for that one, Japan. Bad. No. So yeah, again, look, shout out to the folks over at Faku for sending me this game. If you are just so curious that you would like to play the game for yourself, then you can get it over at Faku. Links in the description to the website. Again, shoutouts to them. They didn't pay me for this. This isn't a promotion or anything. The game is just on there, and someone at Faku was just kind enough to send it to me. So shoutouts to them. Big thank you for that. But my god, with the existence of this game, it just made me realize once again just how limitless and how insane the world of erogays can actually be when you do a deep dive into that world. Every fetish and every kink has an erogay for it, and I think this erogay right here is a perfect piece of evidence for that fact. But regardless of if you thought it was gross or hilarious, I think we can all collectively come together and say, the fuck, Japan. So yeah, that's my overall experiences and trauma. Let me know what you guys think about it. Would you like to play this game for yourself, perhaps? And if you think that you've seen an erogay or a visual novel that is even weirder or stranger than that and would like me to talk about it in the next episode of What the Fuck Japan, you can leave it down in the comments below, or the better bet is to go over to my Twitter, follow me there, and use the hashtag WTFJapan and link it to your boy. And if I like what you link me, then I might include it in the next episode of The Fuck Japan. If you like to watch the rest of the episodes, then I've left a link to the playlist in the description below, or it's at the end of this video during the end card if you want to stick along. And hey, while we're at it, why don't we do a special thank you to our lovely patrons for this month. Ian Gardner, I created this for Joey and it's very long. Shui Shiro, Merc Blow, it's getting weirder every day. Blockboy Soma, Shu Rim, MBH Holt Undead, Lucy First, Little Thimble, Hunter Gibbons, Stefan Seiniger, Instagatrix, Crescentia, Steve Lamb, and everybody else on my Patreon who supports me every single month. If you'd like to check out the script to this video, as well as a bunch of other cool rewards like podcasts, secret videos, and even possibly a shout out at the end of this video, like the lovely folks I just mentioned, then all of that and more can be found over on my Patreon, patreon.com/theanimeman. If you enjoy it, then make sure to support your boy there. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for any banner. Keep watching anime. Johnny!